All right, if you're dealing with an avoidant, you're going to want to listen up because I don't like this card, and this is how we're starting the reading, peeking out at the bottom of the deck with the death card. Okay, so we have some avoidant energy that is in your field right now, and of course, if you don't, then this reading is not for you. Don't make it fit. But yeah, so obviously there's some sort of avoidant energy that there's a breakup, there's an ending, there's a no contact, there's something going on, we're just getting started. What is up? What is happening? Okay. So, the Seven of Swords is really somebody that is avoiding the situation, avoiding accountability, avoiding the truth, hiding things. We don't like that energy. It's very sneaky energy. And that's usually the card that I work with when I see that there's like some sort of avoidance. And then we have this card, which also represents giving and taking and reciprocity. And so the big question mark is, was this person actually reciprocating what it is that you want? You're showing up as somebody that is extremely magnetic, extremely attractive, very passionate. Perhaps you were wearing your heart on your sleeve. Perhaps you were ready. Your heart was open. But it feels like perhaps what you were giving wasn't reciprocated. You were not receiving what it is that you deserve from this person. And this person kind of took a beat. They took an L. They effed off, as we would say. Oh, okay. So we're definitely feeling it. There's a lot of healing, slowing down, resting that you're being invited to do. And more importantly, I want you to reflect on this connection. I want you to think about, is this something familiar? Because the devil is here. So it does mean that this could have been an unhealthy attachment. It could have been maybe some sort of trauma bond energy, perhaps that you are now sitting in this lens of like, insecure, having a hard time letting them go, even if they're not giving you what it is that you want. There's a lack of stability that comes from the way that this this is being shown. I feel like the way that it started is not the way that you are now seeing it as. And I think that that's what might be keeping you stuck. You could have a hard time letting go. But again, the way that things start are not always the way that the relationship is going to be. And I want you to think about that and just kind of have this aha moment for 1 second. A lot of us, we get stuck in the idea of what we want the relationship to be. We get stuck in the beginning, and the beginning is always very fluffy. It's always cute. It's always very good. It's always exciting. But we have to slow down. Okay, because especially when it's wand energy for you, you might be a fire sign. You might be somebody that gets attached very quickly. You might be somebody that's very passionate, and you might be confusing all of that passion and the chemistry for a connection. And that will get you in trouble. And that could be what the trauma bond is all about. Because when I work with attachment styles and people that are trying to heal, especially the insecure attached, we often confuse chemistry and intensity for connection, and then we fall from pretty high up. And the reason why I say we fall from pretty high up is that we had our hopes up. We thought that the way it began, very intense, very fiery, very passionate, is the way that the relationship premise is going to just kind of be on or be in. But there's some sort of like invitation for you. There's an aha moment. There's like a judgment day for you where you're having some sort of realization around, is this actually in alignment with what I want? Is this person right now giving me what I need? Were they being reciprocal? Were they in alignment with my vision of what I want to move forward in? Because it's one thing to wear our heart on our sleeves, and now you're showing up as the Queen of Cups, but we have to just pour into others from our overflow. Okay, so there's a really big invitation for you to really observe, in terms of reciprocity, what's really been the theme here. Because I feel like this person's kind of like avoiding, running away. Perhaps the way that they left you feels a little bit heavy. It's weighing heavy on your mind. Perhaps you're not getting the closure that you want or the clarity that you feel like you deserve. Sometimes it has to be the closure, being the way that they're treating us. If they're not capable of having a conversation, let that be the closure. Let their lack of communication skills be what allows you to close up that chapter to say, well, I want somebody that communicates. I feel like this connection started off really quickly. Okay, they're showing me 8 of Wands energy. They're showing up as somebody that was probably really embodying security and stability in the beginning. They were really providing that, or maybe like, giving off the vibes that that's what it would be. or that's how they are. But I think that because of the nature of how quickly it went, perhaps there was some sort of crash here. That's why the death card is here. Yeah, it's almost like deep down, you have to let this person go, but you're having a hard time. You might be confusing anxiety with your intuition right now. And if you're struggling in no contact, I created a no contact protocol specifically for that, as well as a cord cutting hypnosis, which is all neuroscience backed. There's binaural beats on there. There's theta brainwaves. If you don't know what those are, you can research them, but they're really wired to help you create new neural pathways in your brain that are going to help you really absorb the information and cut the cord, not just on a woo-woo level, but on a neuroscience level. So very good. And both of them can be purchased for under $55 Canadian, or you can buy them separately. There is something here about, the walking away, feeling the betrayal, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected. All of these are big themes around what you might be feeling right now. This person really left you with how you feel, with all your emotions kind of left in the dark, And right now, we're going to tap into their energy, but I'm seeing that they're in this period of reflection. They're in a period of going within. They're in the period of kind of sitting with the situation. And when the Hangman is there, it means that there's definitely no movement from them, like they're idle. But they're going within and they're really reflecting on the situation. They're not thinking about you. They are definitely thinking about the situation at hand. But I think for them right now, there's a possibility of bringing in more clarity in terms of a conversation with you. That's kind of what I'm seeing, that there is a possibility that you're going to get some sort of conversation clarity as to why it is that they left, even if it felt like a really good, genuine connection here. But the moon card here, just, it's a little conflicting. We have to be careful because it almost feels like, although you want a new beginning with them, there's a lot of things that are not yet clear or that you're not seeing clearly. There might be a shift in perspective in regards to you, in regards to the situation that you need to kind of sit with. Sometimes we walk away from things that we love because they're not good for us, and that's kind of what the Eight of Cups represents. It's like we're walking away even if there's a lot of cups that are standing, but look at the moon there and look at the moon here. The moon rules confusion. She rules the subconscious. She rules things not necessarily being clear yet. There's other side to things. There's things in our subconscious. There's deeper layers to the story that have yet to be revealed. So of course, this is a generalized reading. If you want a full personalized reading to get clarity, you could do so. You could choose from 3 different types of readings that I offer. Because I feel like you're not wanting to let them go yet, and there's a reason for that. Yeah, there's things that right now you're feeling stuck in. You're not ready to let it go, but there's things that apparently you're not wanting to see yet about this person, about the reason why it ended. In Tower coming in reverse. So there's some sort of resistance to the end to this that's happening. There could be resistance to understanding how, why this happened for a reason, what it is that we need to learn from the situation, where it is that trauma bonds come in and teach us how to become better to ourselves is a really big theme that I want to share, because the devil, when it's there, it shows us that there could be some unhealthy attachments. There could be an insecure avoidant dynamic. There could be enmeshment, codependent tendencies. All of these things need to be healed. If not, they will continue to get repeated in different relationships with different partners. I speak a lot about trauma bonds and subconscious patterning in a lot of different videos. Don't take this lightly. If you feel like you have patterning, what we resist persists. It's only going to get louder. Trust me when I say that I teach this for a living. I teach people how to understand why their attachment style is the way it is, where it comes from, and most importantly, how to break free from it. And so without proper healing, these things will continue to repeat themselves. If you're noticing any patterning, I have a lot of options that you can, access in the link in my bio from the Relationship Reset Workshop if you're on a budget, or one-to-one work with me. You can email me if you have any questions. And remember, this is a generalized reading. Use your discernment.